So I'd like to go over another way that we can iterate on our lighting. And this way is actually useful when you want to present something to, say, your director or your supervisor, because you don't always get to sit down with that person and have an interactive lighting session. So oftentimes you want to be able to present that person with some options and let them make a decision. And this is going to leverage the panning and tilting rig that I set up in the last chapter. What we're going to do here is we're going to animate this target over a period of frames. Then we're going to render a sequence of those frames as the light rotates around that target. And so we can actually do that with our start multiple renders right here in our catalog. And we could also render it to disk. Let's go down here to our wedge test pass. You'll see that I've made a transform edit. Okay, so we have our transform edit. Let's go ahead and move our target into that. If we click on this here and make it blue, we can actually go and look at our curve. So let's go to the curve editor. We'll hit F to frame this, and you'll see here that I've set two keys. I've set 0 at frame 1, and at frame 31 actually, I've set this to 90 degrees. Okay. So we go to that frame, you'll see that's at 90. And so each frame is actually going to rotate 3 degrees. So you can see over time, that light will rotate around. Now our characters are moving during that time. And so what we can do is use a time offset node, and that will let us actually freeze the time. So click on that. Usually this is set to an expression. Let's actually make a new one. Time offset. And if we look at a normal time offset, you're going to see that this is actually hooked up to an expression, and that expression is just calling the frame number. If you right click and choose constant, then you can actually specify what frame you want to freeze your entire scene at. And so that's what I've done here. This is just frozen at frame 1. And so with this activated, now you'll watch our character as I step through, there's no update. So you can freeze your entire scene on any frame that you like simply by doing this. So let's go to our catalog for a second. And I don't know if I need to render 30 frames of this, but I could probably do 10 frames of it. So let's go ahead and go up to start multiple renders. So let's choose our wedge test pass, and we're going to leave it on shot 1020. So right now we're going to submit one render, but notice that there is a frame range. So we could specify a frame range. So we could go frames 1 to 10. Now let's set this to local machine, and then we can just do a preview render. Let's go ahead and come back when that's done. Okay, those have come back. Let's close this window. You'll see over here we have a whole bunch of renders up here. Could enable the frame and see that these are the frames that we rendered. And so the cool thing is, now that we have this, presumably you could render this out to disk and present it at dailies or, in an informal review or something like that, and then get a call. Say the person says, you know what, I really like that frame. And so you can figure out, well, that was frame 10. And so on frame 10, the value was 27 degrees. So now you can go here back to your gaffer. "27 degrees. There you go. So it's extremely useful. I use it all the time. In fact, I used to use this tool before using Katana when we had custom lighting tools, and we could submit all these simultaneous renders to our render farm. But nowadays we have these amazing tools in Katana that can do this interactively on your local machine. Pretty amazing.